Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the AGUA Special Utility District regular meeting of the Board of Directors. It is August 5th, 2024. I will begin with the call to order. Those present, Maribel Diaz, absent. Dr. Villarreal, absent. Ana Maria Perez, here. Ricardo Perez.
Here.
Homero Tiquirina.
Here.
Jose Luis Ochoa.
Here.
Roel de Hoyos, absent. I think Dr. Villarreal just got here.
Tarde, pero sin sueño.
It is 6:05. Dr. Villarreal just got here. And we'll turn it over.
¿Cómo está? You're running the show. We're here. We're fine.
Did she already do the roll call?
Yes.
Roll call, sir? Okay. So at this time, we'll go ahead and do the invocation.
Just that you got here to the meeting.
Yeah, I did.
What time is it?
Okay.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today to conduct matters of business for AGUA, may you give us your guidance, wisdom, and knowledge to make the best decisions for the ratepayers and employees. Lord, let this meeting be productive and let your peace surround us today. We ask these things in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Now for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have public comments. Mr. Salinas.
Yes, Madam Vice President, we do not have any public comments at this time.
Okay. So we move on to number 2, the minutes. Approval of minutes for the June 3rd, 2024 AGUA board meeting.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say yea.
Aye. Aye.
If,
And Madam Vice President, we have with us tonight Dennis Hoyos, is that correct?
Kiosk.
Kios. Got it. With us tonight from the Texas Water Development Board. In the interest of his time, we would recommend a motion to hear item 12 before the preceding items.
I
Make
so
a
move.
motion to move item 12 to the front of the list or front of the agenda.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay.
Okay.
Motion passes. Yes.
Yes. Okay, Madam Vice President, item number 12 is the discussion and possible action authorizing General Manager to execute an MOU with the Texas Water Development Board for the CFO to Go program. And as Jaron mentioned, Mr. Dennis Kiosk with the Water Development Board is here with us with the financial compliance. So just to let the board know, this program, it's a free of charge program. It has to do with financial, of course, financial compliance. What this program will do will assist our SUD in the compliance, financial compliance, not only with the Water Development Board, but throughout, and basically it consists of 2 phases. Phase 1 will consist of an on-site interviews with key individuals on the district staff. This phase also includes a high-level assessment of recent financial statement reviews by the district's independent auditors and by the Financial Compliance Division of the Texas Water Development Board. The purpose of this phase is to obtain a snapshot of the existing financial operations and reporting conditions and to identify potential opportunities for enhancements. Phase 2 involves contractor discussing the Phase 1 findings with the district and the Water Development Board and design of agreed-upon enhancements to the district processes and procedures, including preservation of key processes through preparing documentation. So again, with us, we have Mr. Dennis Kios. Mr. Dennis Kios, I don't know if you want to add anything as far as this program or summarize the program as an overall for our board.
You've done an excellent job of covering the highlights, but I'd like to just reemphasize that the Texas Water Development Board does not consider itself to be a regulatory agency. We consider ourselves to be more of a service-oriented agency, and this is an example, I think, of the kinds of services that we want to provide to our clientele, which you all are. This is a program that was conceived of by my CFO about 5 years ago, and the intention was to identify customers, clients of ours, who we felt might benefit from an opportunity to avail themselves of the various focuses that we would bring in. The program is, as was said, a two-phase project generally. This is all conducted by a CPA firm. They say you get consulting dollars at no cost to you. And the intention is to do a number of things. First of all, provide that best-in-class expertise that you get from a public accounting firm who does business in Texas and knows our municipal and district structure, water structures. The intention of the program is to look for opportunities for you all and to get your agreement that those opportunities are worth pursuing. We would not proceed to make any changes without the full concurrence of the district, and those changes would be agreed upon as part of the end of phase 1 process. What we do is we share the recommendations for the opportunities and ask for you to review them and to say, okay, well, this will work for us, or this will not work for us. And then we adjust what we call the remediation phase, that phase 2. We adjust the plan, and that's when they would be working on developing things like templates for new processes, documenting procedures that may not be already documented or may be out of date, just looking at the overall flow of operations on the financial and the admin side, just to see if there are opportunities to tighten down processes and procedures and to lock them down so that if you go through things like turnover, that there is information readily available to provide to the individuals that come in to take over those roles, so that they've got the kind of documentation that would help them do that. We believe it does a bunch of things for you and for us, to be honest. First of all, it does strengthen your internal controls. Number 2, it does help demonstrate good governance by a city, by the board of directors and by the district. It assures customers, your customers, and other stakeholders of the organization follows sound management practices, and it documents and preserves knowledge of key procedures, processes, and accounts, as I went over before. There is hope that this would also reduce the risk it's a broad set of intentions. We believe that it is very valuable to the entity. The reason we asked the agent, the direct district, to sign a memorandum agreement, as we call it, is just to acknowledge the fact that in order for the project to be successful, we do have one non-cash cost, and that is the direction of some time from the staff to help with us taking a snapshot of what the procedures and processes are, and then use that snapshot to come up with a plan. And then we ask for that staff input as well into the evaluation of the value of the recommendations in your environment. We try to tailor the recommendations to your environment, including things like which financial systems you use, what services you use from outside. For example, the assessment of rates and charges on a periodic basis. I think that pretty much does it from my standpoint. I'm in the middle of the questions. That's primarily why I wanted to join you all tonight, was to see if I could respond to any concerns that we might have.
How many other utility districts have participated?
We have had a couple, 2 or 3 utility districts. We've had 15 municipalities that have participated, and we did a survey of those that had been to the program already, and for those that responded, we got very favorable feedback about the way in which it helped, particularly in organizations with limited staff, coming up with alternative ways in which to still accomplish things like segregation of duties and other efficiencies. Does that answer your question?
Mm-hmm. This is not a new program, is it? Has it been in existence for how long?
We have, we started it up about 5 years ago, and really became very active over the last 3 years. And it is, we don't advertise it at this point in time. We look for opportunities that we feel are out there, and then identify it on this side as one that might benefit from this.
Anybody in our area participating?
I'm sorry?
Is anybody in our area participating?
Yeah, they need to go through my list, but, let's see. La Jolla would be an example of the city that's not good. I could send a list of some of the other participants to you if you'd like.
Yes, if you can, please. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
I will do that.
Just for the record, Mr. De Hoyos arrived at 6:17 p.m. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You recommend it, Mr. Salinas?
Go ahead. Yes, definitely. It's a program that we can use, as Mr. Dennis explained, to enhance, our financial abilities here in the district.
So move.
Second.
Everyone in agreement say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we look forward to working with you, and we hope that you find the project as useful as we expected you will.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so we move on to number 3.
We go on to
Discussion and possible action to approve vendors for auto mechanic services for district vehicles.
Yes, Madam Vice President, members of the board, as per last year's recommendation again for auto mechanics, the contracts that we have currently go to 1 year specifically. As far as for auto mechanics, I have with us here Mr. Albert Alonso, Asset Manager, which obtained the quotes again for the 3 same vendors that we have on our list, which is Guzman Tune-Up, Joe's Auto, and Diesel Fleet Care LLC. And at this time, we're recommending to continue with the same services from these vendors for 1 year contract.
Can we do it 2 years?
We can do a 2 year, Albert. I don't know if you mentioned that to the vendors, to either the quotes that we have here attached are good for a year and 2 years.
I've mentioned it only for a year, but I can go back and check that number. We did it for a year. 2 years, I'm sorry. And I think they'll be okay with that, because I know in the past, we've done 2 years contracts with them.
Yes, I remember that, and then we changed to 1 year.
Yes. I think it's something we can keep consistent at least for 2 years and have enough time.
And that would lock in the price at 2 years, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So that is your recommendation?
Yes.
For 2 years, subject, of course, to the vendors agreeing to the submitted quotes.
Once, if it's approved, we go back with the contracts to sign. I'll advise them it's a 2-year contract. They would have to honor the pricing, which is their labor. Parts, that's something we can't
Control.
control, this goes up and down. So it's basically labor, their services that they'll.
And they do have insurance, right?
Yes.
They're
They
covered.
all have their insurances and make sure that we have that in our records.
So move. Second.
All in, so move.
Second by Homer, second by Ms. Perez.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action to approve vendors for tire maintenance and repairs for district vehicles.
Yes, again, Madam Vice President, members of the board, we have a 1 year contract, existing 1 year contract, and we would like to go for another year or 2 year if possible. But Mr. here, Albert Alonso, again, received quotes from 3 different vendors, which is Pete's Muffler Shop, Scott Tire Center, and RGV Tire Pros. Again, through looking at the quotes, Mr. Albert Alonso at this time is recommending the use of 2 of the vendors, which is Pete's Muffler Shop and Scott Tire Center. And again, this is to fix flats services for our vehicles, our fleet.
How would that happen? You alternate? Or,
Yes, we alternate the reason, feeds is centralized, so it works well for our district. Everyone can go at that place that need it. And with Scott, they have a tire service, a tech that would go out there in case we have an emergency with a backhoe or any of the vehicles. They can go out there and service the vehicles at any time of the day and weekends as well. So I know Pete doesn't offer that service, so Scott is the reason that I'm selecting him as one of the vendors. As well, if we buy tires from Scott, any repairs of the tires, flats, balancing, it's all free. There's no charge on those items. If our units are, if they purchase the tires through Scott. So it's a win-win for us, because we don't pay for the repairs or the rotation. And at the same time, we have the service for the techs to come out here at any given time. And Pete, obviously, they're in La Jolla, and we utilize them every time we need services.
So the service call, like for Scott's, that's if they have to go to you.
To us, wherever we're at in the district, they'll go out there, they've gone out there to do backhoe tire repairs. I had one of the guys stay stranded out at Achinas on the dirt road, and his spare was also flat, so he went out there to go assist at 7 after hours. So it's very convenient to have an efficient service.
Make a motion also for 2 years contract.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Number 6. Is it number 6 or
Number 5.
Five.
Sorry, I skipped. discussion and possible action to approve vendors for oil changes and preventative maintenance for district vehicles.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, again, contract that we have currently, it's about to expire. Again, the contract that we have, it's for 1 year. Again, Mr. Albert Alonso went and go ahead and got quotes from 3 different vendors, and of course, this is for oil change and PM services from Fiesta Lube Express, Guzman Tuna Plus, and Palmview Quick Lube. At this time, we're recommending to go with Fiesta Lube Express for oil changes and PM services, based on the service that they have given us, and also based on the cost for the services.
The cost is very expensive. Any services that my vehicles don't need, they'll call me up, you know what, you're good for right now, we'll wait till the next service. Then we'll just do it just because it says there, they go and check and inspect before they actually do the service. And from all 3, they will.
Did we get any quotes from the new place that's gonna open up in Peñitas? Five Guy oil change or something like that?
The one by
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A?
Is it already in service, that place?
It's about to,
It's about to.
yeah.
No, we didn't get a price on them.
Where's Fiesta?
They're in,
Business 83.
Business City?
In Mission,
Business 83, close to Stewart, right between Stewart and Bryan.
Oh, okay. What's the other one in Peñitas? What's it called?
There's-
Turbo Express?
The one in the, yeah.
Yes.
I take my cars there, but didn't get a quote from them?
I've gotten them in the past, but the oil is Service Pro. It's
Not
a
good.
different oil brand.
It's not a good
And
brand.
the viscosity is very thin, and the way we use our vehicles, we need something that's more durable. So I did a comparison on the oil quality that they use.
It's not good oil,
The
not the best.
viscosity, the
Okay.
thickness, the wear and tear.
Maybe I shouldn't go there no more.
When I got the quotes, it was a Service Pro oil.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good oil, but
Yeah.
if it's a vehicle you're not gonna be using
Yeah.
on a daily basis.
Well, the guy treats you real good there, but,
Yes.
yeah.
And over here in Valvoline, it's a good quality and the viscosity that, with the heat, it's durable. So that's the reason we recommend it, I recommend it, Fiesta Lube.
And there are some that use recycled oil. They got the tanks and
Yes,
they just go clean them up, filter them, and
yes, so this is Valvoline, so I look for something that's, made by, well, sustainable. But I mean, looking into those, I mean, you can look into that, the oil prices in Peñitas.
would you bring
yeah,
that back?
'cause I don't know, 'cause it's a big
Yeah, would you bring-
franchise.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
We can definitely get quotes from those additional 2 vendors.
Yes.
And in the meantime, we can, is there an extend, if we need to, a month, with the existing services?
Or,
With Fiesta, right now currently we have Fiesta, we can extend for 1
Yeah.
month in order for us to get quotes and bring
the
them back to
other
the
thing you
board.
need to watch out,
Uh,
besides the oil change, they check everything, they grease, because a 5-minute oil change, the one in Peñitas is, I mean, they're not gonna check anything else. But with oil change, certain places they grease, they check the fluids, check everything.
Yes.
This what they do, Fiesta?
Yes, they check, the fluids, everything,
Yes.
they fill them up, they vacuum the vehicles. and-
Transmission,
Yes, they
pressure
check.
insult, everything.
They do that little, like, 21-point inspection.
Sure,
They check
yeah.
everything.
That's what it,
pretty good.
is what Fiesta does?
Fiesta does that, yes.
Okay, so what's the motion, what do you guys wanna do?
We are seeking direction from the board, if the board would like to get, for us to get more quotes from different vendors, or authorize Fiesta Loop to continue as our vendor.
I mean, Fiesta, what do they do? Do they do that?
Yes,
Check everything?
they do.
And right now, they're the lowest.
So far from the beginning, they're the lowest.
Yeah, because the prices, I mean, they're
How
low.
long have we been with them?
I think more than 5 years, 6 years, that's always been, their price has been good, and they, it was a discount as well.
And they've done a good job in those years.
Yes, they've been so far.
So it is your recommendation?
That's my recommendation, but it's up to the board.
Does it seem 1 year?
I'm sorry?
Is it 1 year?
It's been a 1 year, but I believe the recommendation is 2 years if you wanna do 1 year.
Let's
We
do
can
1 year.
We can do 1
Let's do
year.
1
and
year,
then
yeah.
revisit
So move.
1 year.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion
So
passes.
we're not gonna get a quote from the new place.
Pues es que you get a bigger bang for the buck. Si te seca como
I mean, they
si
can
no
get
hace
the
grease,
quotes.
si lo hace.
Well, yeah, but we just motioned, so they don't have to go quotes anymore.
No, for 1 year.
It was supposed to be motion to contingent
1 year.
to,
To get
yeah,
quotes.
but after a year. It should have been a
Well,
motion to
This one
contingent.
was a 1 year, right?
Yes.
1 year.
We left it at one.
I mean, can we
That's what it's been so far, 1 year.
You as a courtesy, I
let's
think
just
you
go
can
with
get
1
them,
year.
explore those options and bring it back and then put
Or
it.
just give it to the discretion of the general manager.
To get quotes.
Sharon, how would we
And then
handle that
you-
motion?
So, we already had a vote to approve, if we're
Fiesta.
talking about five, we already have a vote, to approve a 1 year, award to Fiesta Lube. Now, of course, if the board wants to reconsider that, I think you need to have a motion and second and a vote to reconsider that, to then change that motion.
I would just like more options.
Mr. Perez
That's all.
made the motion, is that
They're
correct?
higher? They're
That's
higher.
correct.
So how do we do it, sir? We do it over, or?
And
What do we
so
treat
if you're,
A motion to
if the
retract?
board is, Mr. Perez wants to amend that motion and have the board vote on it, he could.
Okay, I amend my motion. Bring it back to the board for
Second.
recommendations and approval.
Second.
Okay, hold on, let's start again.
All in favor, say aye, right?
Aye.
Aye.
So we're retracting it.
Right, so now the motion is,
Correct.
now the motion is that we have Fiesta Loop for a year, contingent on you all bringing back 2 quotes for the new businesses, or the business in Peñitas and the existing business
It's also been,
in Peñitas.
And let the general manager make that decision. Okay?
Okay.
Ms.
But I
Perez
said
made a
it's
motion.
Okay, but it's not just Fiesta. Ain't you doing a rotation?
on the PM service, no.
None at all?
It's always been the same, consistent with the PM service. The rotation with the mechanics, because we can get second opinion, on a different mechanic, which is needed. And I believe the PM service is more consistent, it's the same service, and the quality of the oil as well, so it's always been one vendor for the oil change. I mean, it's up to the board as well.
Yeah, that's
The
what
thing
we
is,
have.
at least we have something in place for if those, to investigate those 2 other vendors, if they do not meet the quality of Fiesta, we stay with Fiesta for a year at least.
So we're good to move on? Jen?
Yes, I believe that is clear, yeah.
Okay. Number 6, discussion and possible action on the selection of a bank depository and authorize general manager to execute a contract on behalf of the district at a fair and reasonable price.
I make a motion to move item number 6 into executive session, with consultation with attorney.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So we move this one to executive. Okay, number 7, discussion and possible action on approval of a contract for bond counsel services between AGUA and Perez Law Firm, PLLC.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, we had gone out for RFQs for these services, which is for bond counsel services. We had received packets back in April 8th, 2024. We came to the board and Perez Law Firm was the highest qualified vendor, and now we're seeking approval of the contract attached to this item for bond counsel services.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 8, discussion and possible action on approval of a contract for financial advisor services between AGUA and PFM Financial Advisors LLC.
Yes, Madam Vice President and members of the board, Again, we did win for RFQs for these services, which are financial advisor services. Highest qualified vendor was, of course, PFM Financial Advisors LLC. We're recommending approval of a contract attached to this item.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Number 9, discussion and possible action on the change of date for the September board meeting.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, for the following next board meeting, we have Labor Day, which lands on the 2nd of September. We would like to request the board to move the next regular board meeting to possibly the 9th, September 9th. If not, it's up to the direction of the board when to have the next board meeting.
Is everyone okay tonight?
There's a calendar attached to the item.
I make a motion to move the next board meeting to September the 9th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we move it to September 9th. Number 10, discussion and possible action authorizing general manager to solicit competitive bids for the Sullivan Lift Station Number 3 pipeline project.
Yes, Madam Vice President, members of the board, at this time we're seeking competitive bids for the replacement of 3 suction lines to include labor and material. I know that we had brought this agenda item back on a special meeting, but at this time we're seeking for a full replacement of those lines via a contractor. And this will include materials, labor, and of course the bypass necessary to conduct the services.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 11, discussion and possible action authorizing general manager to negotiate and execute an MOU with the La Jolla ISD for the installation of radio repeaters.
I move that we move this item into executive session so that we can talk to council on this and the board.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Move it to executive session.
Already took 12.
12 has already been done. Number 13, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water to be submitted to Vaquero or Mission Partners LP for the cost related to water service for Buddy Boulevard subdivision brought by variance request approved by general manager.
Yes, Madam Vice President, members of the board. This property, it's a 1 acre commercial property, and this property is located here on the northeast corner of Goodwin Road, which is FM 492, and Buddy Owens Boulevard, which is 3 Mile Line intersection here in Precinct 3. The developer is seeking into converting this property into a commercial property for an auto parts service center. We are here to ask the board to go ahead and approve this NSSA for water for the Vaquero OR Mission Partners. I know that there's history on this. We had brought it to the board and it was approved by the board. However, there was some legal language on the NSSA contract that I think Jaren can explain more on that, but Jaren has been going back and forth with their legal team, and I think finally you're in accordance with them, Jaren, on this so that we can proceed.
Yes, just for background and what we can share, at least in open session, is that the initial application for this project, I think, was submitted, it was submitted at least 2 years ago and was approved by the board. The original SIR, there were a few things in that original SIR that didn't exactly match up with the application regarding LEVs and other things. been brought up a couple of times, as you all may recall, and tabled for various reasons regarding delays with local permitting issues and concern on the applicant's part of not being able to comply with the agreement regarding the timeliness of beginning the project. But I think we have worked all of those concerns out, and it is in a shape that is that's ready to go forward.
So move.
Second.
All in agreement, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to number 14, General Manager's Report.
Yes, Madam Vice President, for the June financials, of course, I have here Mr. Parth Naik there is going to summarize the June financials at this time.
Good evening, Board. We're gonna go over the statement of net position. As we can see, the total current asset of the district is 3.3 million. And then we have a listed current liability, which also cover the current portion of our long-term debt and on revenue for prepaid water service and water meters. And if we look for statement revenue, expense, and change in net position, we are slightly behind on our revenue. We have at 47%, which as of June it should be 50%, and our expenses are also little size of 50%, which is 49%. However, compared to last year, we did have an additional operating revenue because our rate had been changed, but overall our revenue is based on budget is 47%, which is kind of slightly behind, like I said, and we hope to catch up as summer progress. Have any questions?
Anyone have any questions?
The repairs and
Yeah,
they went up.
88%.
We had a little bit more expenses on the
But it's
repairs.
because of those purchases, right?
Yes, we had purchases for our boosters, and of course, we had the replacement of the filters here on the North Water Treatment Plant as well.
It goes under repairs,
So
right?
those are under repair, yes.
Yeah.
And it's probably gonna go up because of the, right? Or no, that didn't count.
The
towards it.
Sullivan City.
Or which ones? Oh, the
The-
Sullivan City, yes. The Sullivan City as well. Yes, it's part of that item, budget item as well. And it goes for repairs under the wastewater treatment plant. It's part of their funding as well. And we're looking at that cost to be approximately close to $100,000 to replace those 3 suction lines as well. It's part of the repairs and maintenance. That's why we're above our threshold at this time.
So is this the end of the discussion for item 14, or?
Yeah.
We can go ahead, Madam Vice President, if I'm allowed, go to item B, which is the second quarter investment report. Again, Mr. Parth Naik will summarize the second quarter investment report as well.
Good evening, Board. As the investment are listed here in 4 fraction, which is primarily our depository bank, the interest we earn over there. As the Board is noticed that we opened a CD this March, so we also had an interest on there, and we have some additional money in our Techstar, which is a government multi-security pool, and then we have our escrow funds for our debt, and we also have interest there. And total second quarter, out of all 4 fraction, our interest on was $154,750, and from January 1 to June 30th, the total was $295,800. And most of our interest in the CDs and tax pool are 5 to 5.35% rate right now. You have any question?
Fourteen C?
Yes, Madam Vice President, members of the board, on the Tom Gill inline booster, the contractor has finally he received the control panel and it has been delivered. It's on site. The contractor has finished the building, the piping, the conduits, the pump and motor installation as well, and the water line is already connected to the booster station. We're pending the actual electrical service from AEP to bring down the power to the booster station there in Tomgill and 4 Mile Line. And we're looking into possibility having that connected within here the next 30 days. Hopefully we can get the AEP team to approve the request so that they can go ahead and bring down power to the actual setup of the booster station.
Any questions? Letter D?
Under D, drought contingency plan, attached again, as other board meetings, I have presented the actual historical data from the Amistad Reservoir and Falcon Reservoir dams. We're looking at a combined average of 19.29%. As you can see on the Amistad, hasn't moved much in the past week. A month ago, we were at 24.1, and today we're at 25.2, so it has a slightly increase within that month. But if we can see a year ago, we were at 36% on that reservoir, which is the Amistad Reservoir. On Falcon Reservoir, as of today, we're at 13.4%, and it has not moved much from a month ago. It was at 13.3 a month ago, and as of today, we're at 13.4. Just a reminder, last year we were about a percent lower than today a year ago. A year ago, we were at 12.2% on the Falcon Amistad Reservoir. So now we're on a combined 19.2. Again, we have been having meetings with the county emergency management in reference to having a regional drought contingency plan. As of now, we have been working with them. We'll probably bring a county drought contingency plan our next board meeting for discussion. And what the county wants to do is to have a throughout stage triggering points for each stage, 1 through 6, the percentages to be equal throughout the county. So that's one of the goals from the county. We already have followed through with TCEQ. We submitted our drought contingency plan. We're in compliance. One of the things that we can do, we can adopt the counties as an amendment to ours, or seek some of the language that we can incorporate from the counties to ours, at least for those 6 stages, percentages to trigger our drought contingency plan. So that's some of the ideas of the counties.
Have we heard from any of the legislators or legislators on the Mexico situation?
No, I haven't heard from them. I know I've heard news in reference to that some of our legislators are asking Mexico for the actual water allotted to the U.S. side, and I believe it was Congressman Henry Cuevitas, the one that I saw that he was adamant about getting Mexico to pay the debt of the water.
Now, because all the different municipalities have different contingency plans, does that affect like the average here?
Well, it will affect depending on
Like
what.
if we were all on very strict ones,
Yes.
would it help the average?
It depends on the board approval at the time of the presentation, but it will, depending on what is it that we want to adopt as far as the staging. But every stage, we can also change the language to it. So we might be in stage 5 and some other cities might be in stage 4, or the same stage, but we have different guidelines to that effect, to that stage.
And my question, or my reason for that question, is because if the county is trying to adopt something, I guess, uniform, that it would help everybody across the county be helping towards the plan of conserving.
Yes.
Because like you said, there's some that are in 3 and 5, you know, and we don't know if that affects the overall average.
They do want to have it uniform, but also there's some other triggering points as far as pump percentage usage on our plants as well, and as far as also our local reservoirs that we have levels as well. Those can be triggering points that we can have on different stages as well. What they're focusing right now is just the average lake percentage levels to have it uniform for all 6 stages.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And letter E, district operations update.
Yes, Madam Vice President, members of the board, as far as for the district operations update, I know that we had a committee meeting, and we went over some of the options that the engineer, Sams, which is present, brought to us in reference to the options that we will be looking into for the water and sanitary sewer relocation on Veterans Road between Abram Road and La Loma. So one of the ideas is to have a workshop here within the next week, maybe on a weekend, on a Saturday. So I just wanted to see the consensus of the board so that we can go over the options and the cost estimate that project is gonna cost us, and it's part of the SIB loan as well, the 7 million SIB loan. So that's something that I wanted to touch base with the board as far as if the board is willing to have a workshop, or you want to leave it up to the committee to have the workshop, or a uniform board for the following week, and maybe on a weekend or in the afternoon, so that we can have the engineer here present with us and go over the options, so that we can go ahead and move forward with a contract for design services. So we're looking
I know
into-
as a committee, we should be here for the workshop. The question is if the board wants to also be included, if other board members, because they need to post.
So one of the recommended date was the following Saturday, which is, I believe, is the 10th. At 10 a.m., 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. For next Saturday. If the board is inclined to have that workshop, we will need to post, and make it public.
Yeah, that we might have a quorum.
I'm good for the 10th at 10 a.m.
The 10th.
So the board will be here, so they can post.
Okay. I just needed direction on that so that we can go ahead and move forward and have that workshop.
We as a committee, we're gonna be there, like myself and Maribel, because it directly impacts Palmview, but we wanted to open it up if anybody else wanted to attend the workshop. So,
Yes.
so they can post.
Okay.
Coming?
We'll have it here in the board room. And that is what I have, Madam Vice President, as far as district operations update.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, now moving on with number 15, district engineers report, NAD Bank Technical Assistance Agreement, sewer hookups.
Yes, Madam Vice President, members of the board, we have Sams here that will give us an update for this project.
Good evening, Madam Vice
How you
President
doing, sir?
and fellow directors of the board. Just a brief recap on item A, the NatBank sewer hookup system. So we're roughly right now at 25% completion. If you can refer to the next page on this document, I have provided a little map to kind of show where we're going. The red line shows the sewer main that is being installed, and the green clouds reflect work that has been done in previous months, with a call out stating what month the work was completed on. And then the yellow indicates the area which this past month was done in. Pretty much from this past month, they have completed all the sewer main on that circle, or around Dasa Circle and San Francisco Street. And from here on, they're working on installing the sewer service connections, and from here, they're gonna keep moving forward with the yard line connections. And they're working on the letter of entries right now, and we're progressing at a good pace.
Are they having any problems with the water
Yeah.
table?
Actually, thankfully, we have not had any issues. We actually met with the contractor last week. We touched briefly on it, and thankfully, we haven't had any issues with dewatering. It's all been flowing smoothly.
So I heard you mention about they'll be tying in already or running for the source.
Correct.
Do we have a letter in place or something
Yes.
For the residents that are not gonna be connecting?
Yes, I think it's part of the design plans that were provided. There's a list of who is gonna be getting the service and who isn't, so the contractor will be going through the checklist, checking off who they've received letters from and who they haven't, and so they have the permission to go and do the work needed.
Okay.
And I know as of now, just as another update, there's an RFI out, just confirming there, because some of these septic tanks have multiple connections, so there's gonna be some adjustments or some clarification that's needed from the design engineer. But just a heads up on that.
And we will get that list, right, of those that deny it, because usually we're the ones that get the call and say, I wasn't asked, and we have to have, you know,
Proof.
yeah.
Right.
The
Yeah,
service was offered.
Yeah, and if anything, I can provide that list that we have on the latest plans, and as I get updates, and if anything at these board meetings, I can provide you the update of who has not responded or things of that nature, just because I know you all need to be aware.
Yeah.
We can definitely do that.
But like Homer said, like they're given a letter, so that way,
Yes,
like, you know, we gave this to you, English, Spanish,
yes,
and that way they've been informed.
correct,
When they come and ask, we've already done our due diligence in informing them.
correct. Yeah, and we'll document it on our end to make sure
Thank
it's
you.
all
Thank
in
you.
place. Is there any other questions regarding item A?
So the ones that say I have right here, month 1, month 2, those have been completed, correct?
Correct. I'm going it based off of our presentations to you all. So the month one of construction, which fell under May, or when we presented to you all, I just wanted to make sure this map reflects based off of what I'm presenting to you all.
And this is a good map, I like to see
Okay.
like this, it's
Perfect.
really good, thank you.
And if there's any other changes you would like on that map, please let us know.
On the
For your
Acevedo Lane, there's no connection, or it's already done?
Acevedo's not started yet.
It's
It's
not?
planned for, the red lines is what's planned for,
Okay.
and the clouds are where we're working.
And does it run to the south, the sewer line?
The sewer line, the main sewer line runs all the way south, yeah, where we're
South.
connecting, yeah.
South, and then it crosses over to the lift station?
Yes, diagonally to the lift station, yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Okay, move on to,
And it's a mandatory, or we're gonna have any problem, people, hey, I don't wanna connect, I don't wanna pay another $100 in fees, or, are we having that problem, or you're not?
We haven't had the problem so far, but to my knowledge, I don't know.
Not yet, but as far as the TCQ rule, I mean, they do need to connect. If they don't connect, we will assess the charge as well for the sewer.
So right now, you just put it, you could do no other connections,
Correct, just to the property line, not inside the property.
not
line.
inside, when is gonna be, that's the second phase?
No, that's part of this phase as well. Right now, they're just extending the
Just the
services.
lines.
Just the lines, and then probably this month is when they start doing the
So
install.
get ready, we're coming.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much.
So we'll charge them regardless of 89 service?
We'll have to, yes.
Okay.
The line is right in front of the property.
Have we done like a audit on that? I know on first phase, I know we had several homes that were not connected and we had several problems.
Yes.
A couple of years back,
There are some properties, yes, we will need to do an assessment of, you're talking about the phase 1 project?
phase one, correct.
Phase
This
one
is phase
project.
two, or we're calling it phase two.
Yes.
Where there were like about, what, 7 or 12, I'm not sure,
There was more than that.
that couldn't because of the breaking of,
The elevation or
Yeah,
something.
I remember, some of them, I mean, if we can get to it or cannot connect to it, of course, we're not gonna charge the owner, but if there's possibility, if they denied because they didn't
right.
want to
And
connect.
then they come
we're
back
gonna-
and they say they want to
we're gonna
connect,
charge,
yeah.
yeah. There's documentation on
Right.
that
Yeah.
they denied as well.
That's why I was asking
Yeah.
about the letter, cause we went through it already, or I already went through it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And,
How
No,
deep
you're
is
right.
this line? How deep is it?
Oh, we're looking at, so it's towards the end of the line, we're looking at 20 feet.
There's no water there?
On this one, well, it's already it's an active line.
Oh,
It's part of the south of the expressway, connections.
but other lines we put in, there's no water, and they're deep, right?
These are deep, yeah, like that's what I was mentioning, like
Yeah, they
thankfully,
haven't hit water yet.
so
Wow,
far, the
that's
contractor
pretty
Mobile
good.
hasn't mentioned any issues with the dewater,
Knock
because
on
they
wood.
did account for it, and so they haven't mentioned anything so far issues. Exactly.
Because and we're gonna come back.
So,
Thank you, sir.
B, geographic information systems and mapping.
correct. So for item B, we have progressed, we're still perfectly on schedule. We're roughly 64% complete with the project. For this past month, we mapped out 7 subdivisions. So for the next couple months, it's just gonna be finishing out the subdivisions we had for this first phase, and then mapping out some sewer. And so everything's on schedule for this one, no issues, all good.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So into executive session?
Yes, Madam Vice President.
Gotta read all the items.
Yes, I know. As provided by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071-551.091, the Board of Directors may convene in a closed executive session to deliberate, discuss, or consult regarding the matters listed below on proper motion and approval of any of the items set forth above. Under Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. Letter A, cause number C-3353-20-I. SMB Infrastructure versus AGUA Special Utility District in the District Court of Hidalgo County, Texas, 398 District Judicial District. Letter B, cause number C-3703-23-E. Jimmy Klausner and Sons Construction Company Incorporated versus AGUA Set Special Utility District in the District Court of Hidalgo County, Texas, 275 Judicial District. Letter C, system capacity. Letter D, personnel matters. Letter E, AEP purchase offer. And letter F, fire suppression meters. At this time, we will move into executive session at 7:01 p.m.
So I make a motion to go.
Oh,
into-
did I do it wrong?
I make a motion
We
to,
need also call out 6 and number 11.
and the items that were, the items that were,
6,
Number 6
and
6
11.
and 11.
and 11.
6. Into executive session, also items number 6 and number 11.
Second?
Motion by me, second by Homer.
Those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Say aye, aye. They're walking and saying aye.